myself alone. And if I'm honest, I know that my life's been slowly falling under the weather. Lord knows that I'm praying and believing for healing. Said I'm praying and believing for healing. Said I'm praying and believing for healing. Years go on and days keep floating by, losing so much more than time, but lives and souls and hopes and people left behind. Boys are growing into angry men. Girls grow up just wondering what's real in love and life. What do we believe in? But we all know that this world's been slowly.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City, and now on FM translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City, Pleasantville.
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, Power to the People, talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City, a platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. WeHaveGospel.com. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Atlantic City and America, and welcome to WEHA, Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, where it is 88.7 FM and 100.3 FM, Atlantic City, Gospel, We Have Gospel. WEHA, spreading the gospel one song at a time. And we're back for our second session discussion about this critical issue of the referendum to take away the power of the people of Atlantic City's vote. And it has been really maverick and led by a very extraordinary gentleman, a former president of Atlantic City Council. And Mr. Craig Calloway has joined us this evening, and I'm just going to let Chairman Craig Calloway jump right into it because it's such an important issue of how they're playing and shenanigans and things going on. And so I don't want to waste any time talking about anything other than this issue. And at the end of it, Mr. Calloway and I will talk a little bit about what's going on with COVID-19 so we can make sure the least of these receive the most support possible. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chairman Craig Calloway. Welcome back to WEHA, sir.
And let me start off with a little prayer,
Amen.
Begging the Creator of the heavens and the earth to protect His creation from this plague, from this virus, this pandemic. And I beg that all of us are spared and are safe and are protected. And we beg this of our Creator. Amen.
Inshallah. Thank you, Chairman. We needed to start off with that. Thank you.
So now we can get back to the mundane things.
Yes,
that are very, very important, but is not as important as overcoming this pandemic. But anyway, we have a lot of information, and we're going to try to get in as much of it as possible. because this situation with this voting, with this vote no, with this special election is very fluid, is moving rapidly, and time is also moving rapidly. When we last spoke, we talked about some of the challenges that we have that have been put forward, which is obstacles that we have to overcome. It's unfortunate that there were some very important things that the governor left out in his executive order when he changed the election from March the 31st to May 12th. And one of the things that was very significant, and it was left out. Originally, I thought it was an oversight by the governor because he was so preoccupied with the pandemic, and we would understand that, and we could give him an excuse or a pass for that, or not so much an excuse or a pass, but could understand. But now we're finding out that it wasn't an oversight.
It was deliberate.
It was deliberate on the governor's part, because it has been brought to his attention that that this most significant part, there's two parts that he left out. The first one was, what are we going to do with the over 1,100 to close to 1,200 people who have already cast their vote? And the answer that we got was, first, no answer. And then our lawyer and another community activist, Mr. Durwood Pinkett, reached out to the Secretary of State's, the attorney, and he indicated to them that, no, all the votes are going to count, but, and this is a huge but.
Right.
And the but is that with the exception, if anyone, everyone's going to get a ballot, and including the people who voted already. And if those people who voted already send in another ballot, it will erase their first ballot, which is, I find it very peculiar that an attorney is not versed enough to know that to vote twice is illegal in the state of New Jersey and in the United States of America. So what they are doing is allowing people to vote twice, and that's illegal. It's unconstitutional in the state of New Jersey. It's unconstitutional in the United States of America. Nobody gets the chance to vote twice. So the law is that the first vote would count. So if you get a vote by mail in the past, and there's case law on this, and you vote your vote by mail, and for whatever reason maybe you forgot that you voted by mail, and you just didn't go to the polls to vote, and there is a designated A next to your name, you are not allowed to vote at the machine. But what is allowed, they allow you to vote by provisional ballot. So when the Board of Elections gets that provisional ballot, the first thing that they do is they check to see if a vote by mail had been received by their office. And once they determine that a vote by mail had been received by their mail, then the Board of Elections, then they cast aside that provisional ballot. So it does not get counted. The first vote counts always. So the 1,200 that are in there now are not going to be counted regardless. There's a possibility that they may not be counted. And and if one of them isn't counted, if one person is disenfranchised in any election, and then it is a tragic loss for all the people who voted.
Absolutely.
So that's why every vote is precious, and no vote should be overlooked and set aside. And I find it disturbing that now we're in a position where the leadership of the Atlantic City Democratic Committee is going to have to take legal action against a Democrat governor who has refused to come to his senses that he made a mistake, and he's doubling down on his arrogance and his ignorance. And now we're going to have to take him to court. The other part of it that he again backdoored us with is that the state statute says ballots are to be sent out 45 days prior to the election. That's state statute. That's not something that the clerk or the Board of Elections or the superintendent of elections, any of the three entities, they have no. It says shall.
Yes.
And that statute, it says shall 45 days. They shall no later than 45 days. They must start mailing those vote by mail out to the voters.
So we should have already received.
We should, which means 45 days prior to May 12th was this past Saturday, March 28th.
Gotcha.
So since it fell on that Saturday, they should have started sending them out on the 27th.
Right.
So people could start receiving them in a timely fashion.
Right.
So we find out from the clerk's office that the governor's office has decided arbitrarily and capriciously that they were going to cut 20 days off of that process.
Oh my goodness.
Without even that wasn't even part of his included in his executive order.
Right.
Which is a real slap in the face to the people of Atlantic City, to the voters of Atlantic City.
No question.
So now we find out again today that no, it's not going to be 20 days that's going to be removed. The clerk's office said nothing definitive, but it looks like we're going to start sending these vote by mails out to the voters in Atlantic City, which is going to be approximately 23,000. They're going to start sending them out on the 24th of April.
24th of April.
Which is a Friday.
Right.
Which means you're not going to get them Saturday. No mail on Sunday.
Right.
You're not going to, probably more than likely, you're not going to start getting them Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you why, because I have an example of how the unfortunate mail process in not only in Atlantic City, but wherever there's in urban areas where there are a large group of minority folks, their mail is not treated with the respect and dignity as everyone else's in the state or in the community. So I have a proof here. I have it right here, and we've been screaming and hollering about how it has been redlining of mail and mail not treated the same. When the first vote by mails were sent out, we had the list and we started going to knocking on doors, having dialogue with the voters.
Sure.
And people were telling us didn't receive it.
Wow.
Didn't receive it.
Wow.
Come back a couple days later, didn't receive it. Didn't receive it. Come back the next week, didn't receive it. Didn't receive it. So we know that there was approximately between 500 to 600 people who never got their ballots.
Oh my goodness.
And lo and behold,
yeah,
here comes one. Here it is right here. One came.
Yes.
This young lady requested. She didn't request. She was on an automatic list because she had voted by mail before.
Right.
And at the top here it says that this was postmarked March 17th, 2020. And here's the printout from the clerk's office where it was sent out, where this arrow is pointing right here.
Right.
It was sent out around the 18th of February.
February 18th.
She received it in the mail Wednesday, March the 25th.
That's
over a month and a week on.
Yeah.
You know how many times we could have walked that ballot to Mays Landing and then back to Atlantic City?
A month.
Yes. So as a result, when she realized that she hadn't received her ballot, we communicated with her and said there's another step that you can take to make sure that you get it. You can use a messenger to go pick your ballot up and bring it to you. So she filled out a request for a duplicate ballot, and a messenger picked the ballot up for her and brought it to her. She cast her vote and sent it back. So the Board of Elections is in receipt of her ballot before this first one came in the mail to her.
Wow. That's pathetic.
And so this is what we're up against.
Yes.
So now they're talking about giving us approximately 23,000 voters, less than 2 weeks, less than 14 days to receive your ballot, if you get it. And if you don't get it within that period of time, then you're waiting. By the time you, and especially with this pandemic, with the clerk's office not being accessible to the public, how are they going to be able to vote? Because the only way you can vote is by mail.
Right.
You can't go to the polls.
Right.
You don't have access to the clerk's office.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem, so if you call the clerk and say I didn't get it, I didn't get my ballot, so the process is they're going to put it in that same mail again. Because the way this process works with the mail, The mail is the printer prints the ballot all out. Then the clerk gets it, and then they take it to the post office in Mays Landing, and then from Mays Landing it goes to Belmont, New Jersey, which is up by Camden, Camden County.
Right.
Then they process it, and then they send it back to the Atlantic City Processing Center on Absecon Boulevard, and then the mail carriers go there and pick it up and distribute it.
My goodness.
So after it leaves the clerk's office to the Mays Landing office in the post office, that's where it's disappearing.
Wow.
And we know what is happening. We know, as I said, it is clearly redlining. People's mail is discarded. It is treated in a way, even though it says here first-class mail, the taxpayers pay 65 cents for this. First-class mail.
Yes.
But it's treated like third world mail.
Wow. Voter.
And this is what has been happening, and this is what is called voter suppression.
Suppression, right.
Voter disenfranchisement.
Right.
And no one's saying anything. We've been saying this for years.
Nobody's. The city council members,
No
the
one's saying
mayors,
anything.
the senators, the assemblymen.
And we have brought it, finally, we have got the ear of State Senator Ron Wright.
Yes.
And he has been vigilant
Yes.
on what's going on, and now we included this on his plate to help the folks of Atlantic City. But it's not just Atlantic City.
Right.
As I said,
Right.
this same thing happens with our neighbors in Pleasantville.
Yeah.
And wherever there is a large contingency of minority folk, their mail is not treated with the same dignity and respect
That's ridiculous.
as everybody else's.
Wow.
As we know that racism is alive and well on
Very-
a lot of levels,
yes.
and we know that it's very much alive in the United States Post Office.
And now it looks like it's very much alive in New Jersey.
It has been, and it is on all levels. So we're calling on the leaders,
Yes.
NAACP, whatever civil groups, or whatever people who want to step up, take on. If you want to fight a noble fight,
Yes.
a battle for justice,
Yes.
then this is one that you should be fighting.
And you already had 1,200 votes
We have
sitting there that should
1,200
be defended.
votes. Overwhelming majority of them are minority voters of Atlantic City.
Sure.
And now they're being treated as though, forget them.
Right.
Forget them.
Right.
Well, we're saying no. Forget you, Governor.
Right.
We're saying no to all those who remain silent. Our legislator,
Yes.
specifically
Yes.
Mazzio and Amato. We're
Yes.
saying forget you.
Yes.
We are not a bunch of fools,
Right.
stupid,
Right.
whatever you want to call us.
Right.
We're not suckers. We're not blind Democrats that we're just we're going to vote for you no matter what, no matter
Sure.
how you treat us,
Sure.
no matter how you disrespect us,
Isn't that
how
something?
much you refuse to treat us with dignity and respect. I don't care. You can dislike us,
Right.
But damn it, you're going to give us some respect, and you're going to treat us equally with dignity and respect like everyone else. But Mazzio and Amato, they got a pass from Boss George during November. They came out and said they was against the change of government, and it was just so we could then support them.
Right.
And I can assure you that the only way that Amato and Mazzio won their re-election for assembly was directly because of the African American minority
Sure.
voters in Atlantic City and Pleasantville, when all the votes had been cast. Including the vote by mails, with the exception of Atlantic City and Pleasantville. Risley and Gunther were well ahead
Right.
by anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 and so votes. When Atlantic City's vote by mail and Pleasantville's vote by mails came in,
Yeah.
they went from losers to winners.
Wow.
And this is how they repay us. And when we need them to stand with us and to stand up, they have been silent. So it is clear.
And Murphy got 96% of the
yes.
black vote.
Yes, and we're being treated like we're nothing,
Worse than a
and it's
stepchild.
unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I'm just reminding everyone who's listening, remember, don't be a blind voting Democrat. Vote for those people who support the most important things, which is your interest. And if they don't support your interest, don't vote for them. And my position is, no matter what, I don't care whatever they do from this day forward, Mazio and Amato, they will never, ever get my support.
Wow.
Because they've already showed me where they stand. They showed us that they don't like us, they don't respect us, and they don't give a damn about us.
Yes, sir.
So in turn, we're not gonna turn the cheek and say, "Oh, you're a Democrat. You can you can spit in my face and tell me it's raining. It's okay."
Right.
No, you got the wrong people. This is 2020. We don't do that anymore.
Amen.
You disrespect and disregard us, we give it back to you equally.
Yes.
And this is how we're going to treat them, so everyone will know. If you disrespect the voters in the minority community in this county or anywhere in this state or these United States, you're gonna have to pay for it. And this is my position. So it looks like that we're again, Brother Whitehead. It looks like we're going to court. The Atlantic City Democratic Committee is going to have to take the Democratic governor.
Will that be at the court in Atlantic City, the same one?
It will be in the Superior Court.
In the Superior Court.
Right, because we have to take him to court because he is in violation of the law. He took an oath to uphold all the laws in the state of New Jersey.
Right.
And now he's breaking his oath by giving instructions to his cabinet and other subordinates to violate the laws of the state of New Jersey. So we're going to hold him accountable.
Well, let me ask you this. Since it is the law,
Yes.
don't they have to be in compliance with the law?
Absolutely, they have to comply with the law, and the law is clearly and heavily on our side. You can't vote twice, and the first vote cast is always takes precedent over the second vote that is cast, and that is clear. There is tons of law on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where these lawyers got their degrees, where they studied, but they really need to go back. And it looks as though that they are pretty good test takers, and they're probably good in theory, but practicality
Yes, sir.
and law and facts, they're lacking.
Now, this is what is driving me crazy. It's the law that has set down and gave you the regulations and the guidelines in terms of how you're supposed to proceed. We're in the middle of a national emergency,
Right.
which it's going to disenfranchise some people because some people are going to be too sick to vote in the first place.
Right.
Maybe some of the people who voted already in the 1200 might get sick and won't be well enough to vote again.
Correct. And people want to be left alone. After you cast your vote, you don't want to be left alone.
You want to be left alone.
You don't want Mr. Whitehead, Mr. Calloway knocking on your door again.
Right, exactly.
Asking you, did you get your vote? Did you send it off? They don't want to be bothered.
Particularly with
They're
this virus going around.
They're worrying about their
virus.
Their physical life, their existence.
Yes.
And they want to be able to relax. I voted already. Why are you sending me another ballot?
And you don't think the governor is taking any of this into consideration?
Obviously hasn't.
Yeah.
It's been brought to his attention, and here it is today.
Now, Sheila Oliver and Ron Rice are very tight, too. They're very good friends.
Yes.
Do you think Sheila Oliver has his ear to let him know, Governor, let these 1,200 votes be counted to be constitutionally right and to be fair and the commitment to the African-American community?
I would hope, and I really think that she has told the governor on this that, no, you're wrong on this, Phil.
Right.
You're wrong on this, Gov.
Right.
You can't do this.
Right.
And I think that his arrogance and his insolence is not allowing him to admit that he made a mistake and correct it.
Really?
It's obvious
Really?
because it's brought to his attention. He hasn't corrected it. It wasn't brought to his attention a second ago.
Right.
It was brought to his attention over a week ago.
Absolutely.
And he still hasn't changed.
Absolutely.
Instead, he's doubled down.
Yes.
Now he didn't include it in an executive order. Now he's taken, he's only going to give the people of Atlantic City 14 or less days to cast their vote in the middle of a pandemic, and he hasn't responded.
Now, let me ask you this, because this question, since your last good interview, because you really have woken a lot of people up about what's going on with all these unethical practices. I've had several people to call me and says, Jimmy, as important as this vote is, and as much as Mr. Calloway has been stressing it, we really don't hear a lot of loud noise from City Hall. City Hall is not out here echoing the message that you're echoing.
And it's unfortunate, and they should. I implore them to. I'm quite sure that they understand what is at stake, but even bigger than their positions as council members and mayor, what's bigger than that is what's going to happen to the regular ordinary person in the city who are going to be disenfranchised.
Right.
And take their power taken away if this thing passes. And it is clearly there is a real conspiracy to take away the power and the votes and the input from the people of Atlantic City. And it should be everybody should be screaming and hollering, "Oh, hell no, you're not going to do this. We're not going to allow you to do this. We're not going to allow you to take away our rights. We're not going to allow you to be able to select who our mayor is. We elect our mayor. We don't give you the power to select our mayor. We're not going to allow you to have a city manager who won't be able to be removed, will have tenure after 3 years. And we're not going to allow you to, if you do something that we don't like, if you come up with a law that we don't like, we have no right to redress it. That's unconstitutional. It's un-American for this 1923 very draconian law that's on the books that needs to be removed.
Now, some of our close friends even have asked, like you say, conspiracy on what's going on, but they said, Jimmy, has somebody in City Hall cut a deal and said, look, if you have a new form of government, as long as I be appointed to that new form of government, I'm not going to work hard against you? Could that be going on? That
I don't think that.
I hope not.
I won't go that far.
Right.
But I think there should be more
noise.
More noise.
Yes.
When you see
aggravation,
here it is.
Aggravation, madness, like you.
Here's the lady's ballot. She got it a month and 5 days after it was sent out.
Right.
Here it is. The governor's giving us less than 2 weeks to cast our franchise.
Yeah.
Here it is. They want to eliminate people who already voted.
Right.
And I hear crickets. I hear crickets louder than what I hear them.
Right.
So I find it disturbing.
Yeah.
I have talked with people. Mm-hmm. We have talked.
Yes, sir.
People are well aware of what's going on, and they should be up in arms about it.
Yes. Yes.
But we're not going to rely on other people. We're going to rely on ourselves to remain vigilant and to fight truth to power.
Yes, sir.
And we will fight them to the bitter end. Even if I'm the last person standing, I will fight them with everything that I have.
Well, we're going to be standing with you, and we're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we want you to talk to the people about, since this virus is really taking away our freedom to physically participate, what are your strategies that you think we should focus on in terms of ensuring that those that want to vote do vote, even if it's vote by mail?
Yes.
Because right now, like you say, people are not going to be able to go to polls.
Correct.
So people are really wondering, well, Jimmy, Mr. Calloway, how do I fully participate in this process? So we're going to take a short break.
Yes, we'll
30
talk
seconds,
about that.
and then we come back.
We have some strategies.
You got it, babe. You got it. All right. Want to put some music on? We got a trainee over here. We got a new
She's
DJ. Lisa Dan Hall is getting trained, y'all. Look at her. She's over there. Stefan's trainer, so she's beautiful. Okay.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen. trying to make it, they only push you aside. They really don't have nowhere to go. Ask them where they're going, they don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're gonna put our show together, gonna polish up our act. Wow. And if you've ever
The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour, power to the people, talking about the power of the people of Atlantic City, a platform for people to discuss ideas of the community, creating an all-inclusive environment where people of Atlantic City can actively participate in the economic revitalization of Atlantic City's future. This forum will focus on black and white capitalism, working together to create red, white, and blue capitalism. Every Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM. WeHaveGospel.com. The Jimmy Whitehead Power Hour. Power to the people.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Atlantic City and America. We're back with former president of the City Council, Craig Calloway. We refer to him as the chairman because he has really been the chairman of this Vote No campaign, and nobody knows how the votes work and how they don't work better than Chairman Craig Calloway. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Chairman Calloway, so you could tell us some of your strategies going forward.
Yes, what we, Brother Whitehead, what we did was when we had the conversation, the lawyer and the community-oriented brother Durwood Pinkett, the lawyer asked the Secretary of State's lawyer, asked him, would they, since the governor is relaxing in laws and things of that nature, would he relax that limit that they have where you can only bear in 3 vote by mail?
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking them to relax that completely because of this this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people who will not vote because they're not going to leave their homes.
Right.
They're not even going to probably go out to even check the mail. They're afraid to even check their mail.
Sure.
Because of the possibility of being exposed to this virus.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking the Attorney General's office via the Secretary of State to relax that law, which limits only three ballots that one person can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives less exposure to having a lot of people going to people's houses when not going inside. But I think that if taking that away will limit the amount of people who are going door to door, which also limits the possibility of spreading this
Yes.
COVID, this plague, this virus.
Mm-hmm.
So we ask for that, and let's see where that lands.
Mm-hmm.
But we assure that the voters of Atlantic City, if and when we do go out to make sure that they receive the ballot and that they cast it, we will be protected.
Mm-hmm.
We will protect ourselves with the protective gear, with all the protective gear, which will protect us, and it will also protect those who we interact with when we ring their bell and they come to the door
Sure.
to hand us the ballot or to ask a question to make sure that that it is filled out correctly. Because as I stated before, and we're going to do this demonstration again, if you make a mistake with your vote by mail, you can disenfranchise yourself
Wow.
without even knowing it.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that if anyone has a question, there's going to be a lot, because the overwhelming majority of this 23,000 people have never voted by mail, so they're not familiar at all with this process. It's a simple process to me because
Right.
I'm so familiar with
Right.
it. But for someone who is not familiar with it, it's not simple at all. It is
Right.
very complicated. So we want to make it simple. We want to be able to help them because this is very, very important. And at the same time, we want to protect them, meaning the voters, and we want to protect us as we interact with people to be in compliance with the orders from the governor, with by the information they receive from the from the health experts. So we want to be able to 2 things. One, the first thing, most important, is their physical well-being.
Right.
And then the second thing is to make sure that their franchise is also is well and protected. So these are the two things that we are going to make sure happens. So we intend to try to come into contact with as many people as possible to make sure that they got their votes into their vote by mail, and if they needed any assistance, if they needed someone to take it to, because I want everybody to understand in Atlantic City, mailboxes, aren't that readily available in our neighborhoods anymore.
Right.
So either you set it out, on your mailbox, and hopefully when the mail carrier comes, he or she will pick it up. That's one way of doing it. But to make sure for certain that is done, that's why we're going to try to do everything that we can to be in compliance, to make sure that we can interact with our people, to make sure that they vote and they cast their franchise, and we beg them that they are saying no to this political pandemic that's been inflicted on us. Okay, so that's our strategy.
Yes, I think that's the right word for it. Political pandemic. Yes,
that's exactly what it is.
Wow.
And it is spreading in Atlantic City, and if we're not careful, it'll spread into Pleasantville and some of the other places where they want to take over.
Yes.
So we have to kill the COVID-19, and we have to kill this takeover of the rights and the votes of the people of Atlantic City.
Yes, sir.
So we have two pandemics.
Yes.
One a health one and one a political one, and we got to kill both of them.
And they both at the same time.
They're both at the same time, and we got to do battle with them both at the same time. And we're going to be armed with all the tools.
Yes, sir.
To make sure that we kill the virus, and we kill this pandemic, the physical health one and the political one simultaneously.
Wow.
And that's what our strategy is.
That's wonderful. Carla Thomas joined us too. So you're going to show our audience, you're going to go through the process again.
Yes, as I did last time.
Yeah, this is so important.
Let me take this black tape off of here because I had covered it so I would protect.
So some of the people that's just joining us who didn't hear you before, so now you're saying that these ballots will not go out until...
They're not going to go out, it looks like, as we were told, but there's nothing etched in stone. But we know that they haven't gone out in compliance with the state statute, which would have been Friday.
Right.
So they haven't gone out yet.
Right.
But we were told, nothing definitive, but it looks like April the 24th, they will start going in the mail.
And so people should start looking for them.
Yes.
At what date?
They should start looking for them. I would say start looking for them Saturday, even though they're not coming.
This Saturday coming up?
No, the 25th.
The 25th of April. My God.
And then
that's a limited amount of time.
Again, Monday the 27th, start looking for it. And I doubt if they'll get them then. So I think that they'll start receiving them on Tuesday the 28th, the 29th, and et cetera, and et cetera. And again, we know that because of the redlining
with our
mail,
communities,
there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to have an opportunity to vote, and it's unfortunate. It's going to be a lot of people disenfranchised, and that's the reality. That's the reality. Just like the reality that a lot of people are going to get sick from COVID-19.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to be harmed from it.
Right.
The same thing is going to happen, and with this political pandemic, there's going to be people who are going to be injured. There are going to be people who are going to be hurt. There are going to be people who are going to be, politically murdered.
Yes, sir.
By this political pandemic. So that's just the reality of war.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
yes, sir.
This is what
we are at war. We are at war with two viruses,
Absolutely.
with two pandemics.
Two pandemics at the same time, simultaneously.
Yes, sir.
So this is the ballot. This is the big envelope, and inside
this is what comes in the mail.
This is what comes in the mail, and then there's the other envelope, the next size envelope, which your security envelope goes inside of that.
Right.
And the voter will fill it out. They will put they print their name, and then the next line, their address, and then the third line is the municipality, which is Atlantic City, and then here where this larger X is, that's where they sign. And if you sign it in cursive, when you register to vote, sign it in cursive here. If your signature is a print, then print it. Exactly the way you signed when you go to the polls, sign it this way here. Because if you sign it differently, when they compare the signature at the Board of Elections, from the records from the Superintendent of Elections office, that's what they will be comparing signatures.
Mm-hmm.
And if your signature isn't, if it was a print and then you signed it in cursive,
Mm-hmm.
you just disenfranchise yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or vice versa. So you want to sign it, just like you do when you go to the polls.
Right.
So you will have the opportunity for your vote to count.
Okay, well, show
It's
it again
extremely
because I got
important.
it close on there. Show it again.
This right here, you're gonna have where it says I. You print your name,
Yes.
and then the second line is your address,
Mm-hmm.
including your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third line is the municipality. Our municipality is Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
So you can abbreviate it. You can put AC. You can put Atlantic, whatever you. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then this fourth item here, where this X is, where next to my finger, that's where you sign.
Mm-hmm.
If your signature is in cursive, then it's in cursive.
Mm-hmm.
If your signature is a print, then print.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to vote and you sign your name and then you print it here, you just disenfranchise yourself. Your vote is not going to count. Because
Say that again. Say that again.
Say for example, you when you register to vote, you put in cursive,
Right.
James Whitehead,
Right.
and then for whatever reason, when you got here, you printed it, James Whitehead.
So it's got to be the same.
It's got to be the same because
Gotcha.
they are comparing.
Gotcha.
It's when you cast this vote, your vote hasn't counted
Yeah.
until it is looked at by the 4 members of the Board of Election,
Mhm.
2 Democrats, 2 Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be the ones who determine whether or not this is a vote or is not a vote.
Right.
So that's why it's extremely important. Follow
Just sign it the same way you
sign it
sign
the
when you.
same way you usually. And if you're not sure if you did it in cursive or print, then do both.
You talking about when we registered to vote?
When you register to vote. But even if you're not sure, you have plenty of room here. You can do it in cursive and you can do it in print.
Got you. To make sure.
To make sure.
Got you.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Because we don't want anyone's vote to be thrown out.
Right.
And there are people who are just salivating,
Yes.
waiting for opportunity to take people's votes away.
I'm sure.
And that's the truth. That's the reality. They look for any and every reason that they can to justify taking our precious rights away from us.
Wow.
Don't give it to them.
Right.
So be on the lookout
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that you sign it on that X right there, or print it. If you're not sure, do both.
Do both. Got you.
Okay, so
And
that's
that won't
extremely important.
disqualify you if you did both.
Will not.
Gotcha.
Will not.
Gotcha.
Now they have 2 samples of your handwriting that they can compare with what they have on file
Gotcha.
and on record.
That's smart.
Okay.
Better be
So-
safe than sorry.
Right. So after you do that, then here's the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
And at the top is no.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see that little bubble right there.
Right.
Try and color it in.
Right.
If you put a mark on it, it's fine. As long as there's something in that bubble, there's some kind of mark.
Right.
Because there's a scanner that this goes through,
Right.
and it will pick up any mark, and then that no vote will count. No.
So this is
All right.
this is the most important piece of this
This is the
mailing right
most
here. This
important.
is vote no.
Vote no. And then after you vote no, fold it up,
Mm-hmm.
put it in. This is called the security envelope.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And when you look at it, what does it say right there? Do not tear off this flap.
Right.
Because if you tear it off, and there are some people who tear it off,
Mm-hmm.
and then they put it in here along with their vote, and guess what? They just disenfranchise
Wow.
themselves. Their
Wow.
vote is not going to count.
Right.
Okay? And if you,
So show that again, sir. It says that flap.
here it is right here. Do not tear off this flap.
Because this is a security
It's
envelope.
a security envelope. The only ones who remove this flap are the people at the Board of Election. And this is what protects your anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
This protects your secrecy, so no one knows who and how you voted.
Sure.
So they tear that off at the Board of Elections office,
Right.
and put that over here in this pile,
Right.
and then the remaining part of the envelope, where it says right here, moisten.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That part right there stays sealed,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's put over here.
It's secured. Right.
It's secure, and
right.
then it gets voted. Okay, it gets the envelope, and then when they open it up, then they take the vote out, and it's put in the scanner, and there's no vote counts.
This is so important. This lesson that you're giving us, because
It's
a lot
extremely important.
of people never have voted by mail.
That's correct, and they don't know, and that's the reason why it's so important that we give more time to people.
Yeah.
You're talking about a large segment of the voting community who have never voted. They go to the polls. They
Right.
enjoy going to the polls.
Right.
But now, because of this pandemic,
Yes.
they won't be able to go to the polls, and now they have to do something that is completely different and foreign to them.
Right.
So we want to make sure that they don't make any fatal mistakes with their vote, and that's why we're doing this tutorial. And we want to inform them that this is the process. And then if you're still not sure about it, maybe the next time that we get together,
Yes, sir.
we can
Next
have
Monday.
some phone numbers where they can call people
Sure.
if they need some help, if they're not sure. Don't be too proud to ask someone for help when you're not sure, if you don't know, because it is so much at stake that your vote counts. And we want you to do the right thing by voting no and follow these procedures to make sure that your vote counts.
Matter of
and that we
fact,
defeat this.
I want to mention this to the audience. If anybody has a question that they want to call in and ask Chairman Calloway while he's on the show, the number here is 609-641-8870. That's WEHA, 609-641-8870. The lines are open. I'll post this number on this page you're looking at so you can see the number. But again, if you have any questions you want to call in, we have Chairman Craig Calloway here. Please call in. Please continue, Chairman.
Yes. So again, I'm gonna go over this process again.
Please do.
You're gonna get this envelope in the mail, and this is it. This is your vote. This is your vote that you're gonna receive. It's extremely important. This is not the census. This is not the census mail.
Thank you for clarifying that.
This is not the census. This is not some sweepstake
Right.
where it's not junk mail. This is the most important mail that you're going to receive in the very near future. Is this? The census mail is extremely important, but this right now, this mail that you're going to get right here in my right hand is more important. So don't get them mixed up. When you get this mail, if you're not sure about it, we're going to give you a number where you can call to make sure. Then we will be able to tell you. This is the description, and we will be able to tell you, this is your vote by mail. This is your vote, and we will be able to assist you even over the phone or via email, whatever the medium is that we can get to you or you can get to us. We will readily be available to answer and to assist you in any and every way that we can. So again, you're going to get this, and inside this is what they call the outer envelope, which everything goes in
Right.
and is mailed back to the Board of Elections. And fortunate for our voters of Atlantic City for this special election, you will not have to place any postage on it because the governor in his executive order, he ordered that it be prepaid. But it's not the state of New Jersey who's paying for this postage. It's the city of Atlantic City.
The taxpayers of
the city of
Atlantic
Atlantic City who will be paying for the postage going out and the postage that we're going to when we send it back in. So don't waste this envelope because you, the taxpayers, have paid for it. Okay, so you won't have to place a stamp on it. You won't have to place any postage on it whatsoever. It's prepaid. Okay, so that makes it even easier. So now when you get it, again, the security envelope, which we went over, we're going to go over it again. You print your name, your address, the municipality is Atlantic City, and then you sign it in the same manner in which you sign when you go to the polls and vote. Okay, that's important. Then you put your then you have your actual ballot, and no is right at the top. Color that no in or put a mark on it somewhere right there. But whatever you do, don't overmark it and come down and touch that yes.
Yes.
Because if you do that,
They'll
now
right.
you disenfranchise yourself.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, but if you make that mistake, and vote the wrong way, or over, and you color in both of them by accident, can become a. This is important. I'm glad I remember this. It is a spoiled ballot. You can then call the clerk's office and say, "I spoiled my ballot," or if you misplaced it or whatever. But if you spoiled your ballot, they can then send you another one. Okay? So there is a remedy as long as you don't send it back.
Right.
But if you make a mistake and you didn't know that there was a remedy, or if you don't do anything with, I made a mistake and I don't send it in, then you disenfranchise yourself.
My goodness.
So we don't want that to happen. You have, just like if you go to the polls and you cast your vote and you hit the wrong vote person who you really, I didn't realize that was, there's a button that you can touch again and it turns it off. This is the other way. That was a spoiled vote, so now this is spoiled, and you can discard it and ask the clerk to send you another ballot.
Right.
That's why I'm very, very upset and concerned about not having enough time for people to be able to, if they make a mistake, there's time to fix it, to correct it.
Right.
And these are the things that should be taken into consideration by the governor's office. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people who don't understand because they're just so, the only thing they know about law is what they've read in the books, in the theories of law.
Right.
This is the practicality of law.
Right.
This is the practice of it. So if you're not familiar about what's going on the ground, just like if you were in the military, the general, he's way up somewhere else, sitting in an office somewhere. He doesn't know exactly what's going on the ground. That's why he has his soldiers, his sergeants, his lieutenants, captains to report back to him, so then things can be adjusted.
Exactly.
And that's not what's happening here, because the governor is in Trenton. We're in Atlantic City. He's given orders to his Secretary of State, bad orders. There's not practical, and it's not good, and it's not legal, and they're following through on it instead of listening to people on the ground who understand. No, you're making a mistake.
Right.
Don't do this.
Right.
So that's where we are with that. So I just wanted to explain that there is a remedy if you make a mistake with this. It's not the end of the world if you do make a mistake. But if you make a mistake, you can correct it. And if you're not sure, call us. And we will, before these votes start going into the mail, we will have call-in numbers, whatever the medium of communication is.
Sure.
We will have people that you could reach out to. And then, again, we will have the opportunity for people to go door to door to make sure that everybody has received the ballot. If they have any questions, if they have any concerns about what they did, we can help them. We can assist them. We're not going to vote for them, and we're not going to beat them up and tell them, no, you're going to vote no. No, that's not what we're there.
Right.
We're there to assist them.
Right.
Whatever way they want to vote, that is their constitutional God-given right to be able to vote whatever and however they want to vote. Even we may not like it if they vote another way.
Right.
But we cannot take that right away from them, and that is not what we are intending to do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, we can take a 30-second pause for the cause, and then when we come back, we want to get your thoughts on a lot that's going on with the COVID-19 efforts in Atlantic City that you've been reading about and that you are seeing going on. So we'll be right back, everybody, with Chairman Craig Calloway, and we're going to talk about last 10 minutes about what's going on with COVID, and then he'll remind you one more time how important it is that we got to vote. Okay? Yes. Thank you. We'll be right back. Lisa Diane Hall is running things, everybody. So
she's doing a good job.
She's doing a great job. She got her little earphones on and everything, looking official.
It's a.
like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go. And where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together. We're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Well, don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want y'all to listen to every word I say, every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We got to do.
All right, we're going to go right back into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get ready to wrap up this show, but we want Chairman Calloway to share his thoughts in terms of what's going on locally in Atlantic City to help with this COVID
Yes.
effort. So what are your thoughts on this? What's going on?
So far, it looks like on the surface like we're spared. We don't have that many cases in our city, but we know underneath the surface, because of the lack of testing, that we really don't know if we've been spared or not.
Right.
But the only way that we will know is when, unfortunately, if people start to become ill. So I hope that everybody remains healthy, and then it looks like we, and not look like that we are spared.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, I hope that everyone will have the opportunity to be tested to see, for two reasons. One is, if you had it and you had a mild case of it, the doctors are saying, and the scientists are saying that you have antibodies in your system, where now they can take those antibodies out of the plasma of your blood,
Right.
and then they can help someone who is sick.
Right.
So then that way we can start helping people, not only in our city and in our area, but we will be able to use that plasma from people who have the antibodies that can help a lot of sick people, first throughout our state, throughout our area, our
Right.
community, throughout the state and throughout the country and the world. Because as you see, this thing started in China,
Yeah.
but see how small the world is and how
Yeah.
fast this thing traveled from China to the United States to every part of the globe
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
This thing has spread. So I hope that we get the opportunity where everybody will have the opportunity to start getting tested.
Yes.
And then we will know who has been affected and infected by this thing, and they can be treated, and they can start to isolate themselves to protect other people. But as I said, it looks on surface like Atlantic City hasn't been hit that hard, but in reality, we really don't know.
And it looks like Atlantic City residents are following the quarantine principles
For the most
too.
part.
Yeah, for the most
Yes,
part.
for the most part,
And
we
so
are.
yeah, so I know you got the ear to the pulse of the community.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, do you think people are being informed enough, or
Yeah, there's never enough information.
right?
But we have been receiving information, and and as I said, I hope that we get the opportunity for everyone to get tested, so
Okay.
we can help ourselves and help our brothers and sisters.
For the last 30 seconds, again, vote no.
Vote no on May 12th, and everyone, your neighbors, your family and friends, and your co-workers, make sure that they also vote no.
Thank
as
you,
well.
Chairman. Thank you so much, Chairman Calloway. We'll have you back again next Monday, because I'm sure you'll have some insightful information to share with us at that time.
Yes, I hope it's
And
good information.
And in between that, we have, if you say, Jimmy, we need to do an emergency broadcast right now.
Yes. If
We
something
will
comes
keep,
up,
if something comes up, you'll call me, I'll show up,
Yes.
and we'll keep the people informed. So thank you, everybody. We're going to take it out with our own Sean Rock with some Atlantic City.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Very informative, and the people really appreciate it.
Down the boulevard, show what we're made of. That's why they come from near and far. Atlantic City. Casinos
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City, and now on FM Translator 100.3, W2626. WCCF, Atlantic City, Pleasantville.
Hawks Janitorial Contractors Corp. was established in 1987 by husband and wife team William and Elaine Hawks. Our motto is a great job at a fair price. The Hawks team is skillful, customer-focused, delivering quality janitorial services that meet and exceed our clients' specific needs. Hawks Janitorial Contractors Corp., proud sponsors of Gospel 88.7 FM. For more information, 609-484-0452.
The second best thing about driving home is listening to WEHA. The best thing is getting there. And that's why I'm glad when I finally get home, I can listen to WEHA on my computer. It's easy. All you have to do is go to WeHaveGospel.com. Not only can I hear the station, I can also see what's playing at the time, as well as what has already played before. You know, sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio and I want to know the name of the song and where I can get it from, you know. And when I need to go to another website, I can always use the pop-out player to keep WEHA playing in the background while I browse the web. They make it so easy for me at WeHaveGospel.com. You got to check it out.